Well, if the atmosphere was electric before, it is now red hot. David Kirk, they were saying that the All Blacks looked a little bit twitchy this morning. They look very calm to me out there now.
Very calm to me, very calm indeed. I think it's a very good sign for New Zealand. I think England looked calm as well, but New Zealand came out slowly, quietly, stood together, moved around. They look as if they're thinking, they're inside themselves at the moment, thinking about their own position, their own roles. They're calm, they're confident, and that's the way New Zealand likes to play, calm and confident.
And Steve, England looking very confident through the anthem. Seems as if they're determined that they're going to play this and take on the challenge and go for it.
I think so, John. I was at the team hotel yesterday and they were very uptight about the game, but they've just come out here now and they look quite relaxed. They'll be well prepared. The management's done a very good job on them. Will Carling's led them from the front before, and I think there are two teams here who are at the peak of perfection, and we should see a fantastic game of rugby.
Well, what are England going to do as New Zealand do the haka? The traditional Maori challenge thrown down by the All Blacks. The Irish went quite mad in '89 and almost advanced on the All Blacks.
Well, traditionally, interestingly enough, the haka is taken up, and New Zealanders had a great deal of respect for the Irish and taking up the challenge and coming back. England are going into a huddle, and I think in a sense that's a mistake. They should just stand and look them in the eye, accept the challenge.
England going into their own huddle, ignoring the haka, just trying to keep their concentration, not be distracted by it. There are the teams. The only changes for England from the side which won the Grand Slam: Webb at fullback and Chris Otey in at number 11. And the All Blacks back row, which is the thing that's swapped around most recently. This time Alan Wetton back at number 6, Michael Jones at 7. And Zinzan Brook at number 8. And the first communication from Jim Fleming, the referee, says that England have won the toss and they've elected to kick. That means that New Zealand would have had choice of ends. Steve, what do you make of that?
I predicted that, John. I think it's very important to win the toss and kick off to the All Blacks. Otherwise they would have put pressure on us right from the start. Now we can do the same on them.
So, a few minutes late, but the World Cup is underway. A low skidding kick from Rob Andrew. And Grant Fox not finding touch with his first one. Safely gathered by Webb. Was he hit? Late he was. A penalty to England where the ball lands. Or back there. It's kick or kick.
Well, I'm going to sound parochial here, but it was never a really challenge. He jumped to get the ball and happened to brush him with his arms, and Webb went down like a sack of potatoes.
Well, a penalty it is, and in a very simple position. 5 metres to the left of the posts, and about 37, 38 metres out. Length shouldn't be a problem, even though we've had some rain. And this, a real testing moment for John Webb. Yes, he's happy. He had a little hard look at it at first, thought he might have put it too close to the left post, but then assurance grew on his face as the ball got closer to the post. England 3, New Zealand 0.
Great start for John Webb, great start for England. The tackle couldn't have been too late, the game's only 30 seconds old, but it was late enough, and as far as I'm concerned, that's a brilliant start.
Everybody a little nervy at this stage, maybe even the referee. And the players, though, you've got to be aware that in the early stages he's obviously going to clamp down on any hint at rough play. He certainly won't want this one to get out of control. But England couldn't have had a better start. 2 minutes gone and Grant Fox has to kick off. Great jump by Wade Dooley. Knocked forward by New Zealand. England have the put in.
First scrum will be crucial, a very testing time for both front rows. Any advantage here could be very significant for the rest of the match.
The referee insisting that both front rows come back and reform. He doesn't want any messing around in the scrum at this stage. Richard Hill with the put-in. A lot of pushing going on. They're not really allowed to do that before the ball comes in. These are really trying moments. The England pack, if they started to feel it go, certainly wouldn't have done. But Richard Hill penalised, delaying the put-in. An indirect free kick. And Grant Fox with the ball. It looks as if he's going to hoist a bomb. The up and under, yes, for the forwards to charge onto. And nobody made it their own. New Zealand have it. Basham, Fox. They miss out Mikhail. Innes caught. Well brought down by Winterbottom. And the important thing about that tackle was that England got New Zealand going backwards, so they had the put in at the scrum.
The first scrum worried me though, John. England were creaking a bit there and they had to give away a free kick, but luckily the defence was sound in the centre and they've rescued it. The second scrum will be very interesting now.
Jason Leonard, Brian Moore and Jeff Probyn up against the very experienced Steve McDowell, Sean Fitzpatrick and Richard Lowe. They hold the record for appearances together for a New Zealand front row. And it's a penalty for collapsing. Jason Leonard, the loose head singled out there, pulling down, and an even simpler chance for Grant Fox to level the scores. And it looks at this moment, David, as if England might be in trouble in the scrums.
I think from a New Zealand perspective, it's two very, very interesting scrums. Clearly, if Jim Fleming penalised Jason Leonard for collapsing that, he really is having trouble holding the scrum up on the tight-head side for New Zealand, and it's very good news for New Zealand.
Well, he certainly said he was pulling it down. Whether he was pulling it down to gain advantage or because he couldn't hold it up, we shall have to wait and see. But whatever it was, in the finer point, it's a penalty to Grant Fox in the simplest of all positions. A man who has an average of over 15 points per test, the most prolific scorer in the history of the game. 481 points for New Zealand so far in his career, and it looks to me very much as if it's going to be 484 very shortly. Pause, and he looked a little bit shaky about it, but in the end, straight through the middle, he'll feel a lot better after that one. 3-all.
He seemed to hit the ball very well. He wasn't kicking that ball well against Australia, but he hit that very well and confidently.
So a very edgy start, but if we're looking for advantages at this moment, that seems to be with New Zealand in the scrummages. We haven't had a proper scrum yet. England in trouble in the two we have had. One penalised for delaying the put-in. That was an indirect free kick. And then a full-blown penalty for dragging it down. Rob Andrew kicks the ball dead again. The touchdown behind the New Zealand line. And Grant Fox to drop out from his own 22. Dooley goes for it, but can't get it. And they're trying to get that maul going, trying to roll off the side. But England regrouping. Now they've got the push on. Alan Wetton there in the middle of it. Basham back to Fox. It's a bit short. Again, England not really claiming that ball, but they've got it. Webb drops it, no. And throwing it forward. Fox with the chip, Rob Andrews back. And he has to hurry his clearance, but gets it away well.
Both sides showing nervous touches, especially behind the England scrum there. What worries me, John, more than most, though, is the way those two England scrums were creaking. They've got to sort that out. They've got to sort it out very quickly.
Referee Jim Fleming, who's refereed 10 major internationals before this one. Started in 1985 with Ireland against England. Poor pass, but it was a very good ball from Paul Ackford, straight into his scrum half's hands. And everybody obviously very nervy. Richard Hill, very experienced player, captain of the side back in '87 for 3 matches. And this is his 24th cap, but it just shows the tension out of there. Steve McDowell will be very happy with things at the moment. Standing at the front of the line out in the moment, I think longing for the next scrum. Over the top of Michael Jones. Guscott tries to pick it up, doesn't manage, and it's hacked straight to Kerwin. They do very well, but the first knock-on has been spotted by the referee. Jim Fleming calling them back as Jerry Guscott went to try and pick up that very wet, slippery ball.
More mistakes behind the scrum by England. Guscott should have put a boot to that and gotten on the halfway line. He's tried to pick it up on a wet day, and now they're under real pressure.
And this time, for the first time, it's the New Zealand put in the scrum. And again, England giving, if anything. Zinzan Brooke tries to go. Richards intercepts the pass. And the hooker, Brian Moore, penalised for going over the top of the ball to kill it, to stop the All Blacks winning it.
Yes, unfortunately, John, England putting pressure on themselves here in this spate of play. Richard Hill passes out 500 balls a day, but unbelievably on this occasion he missed his man for the first time in probably 3 seasons. Guscott knocked on, Moore's gone over the top, and the last 5 minutes, I'm afraid, England just seems to put a lot of pressure upon themselves, and they may pay dearly for it.
I think the ball's much more slippery than we might have suspected before the game. It's really going to have a major influence on the way the game needs to be played. Everyone's going to have to be very careful about the way they pass and pass into the body and keep their alignment straight. It'll be difficult to get the ball out wide quickly today.
So Grant Fox successful with 1 out of 1 so far. This only about 10 metres to the right side of the posts. And as you can see, he's well inside the 22, so just doesn't come into it. Crowd giving him the hurry up. He's got it though, no problems, concentration. New Zealand take the lead, 6-3. And England have really got to sort things out very quickly indeed, or this match will be gone from them before they got into it. The forward platform that is stable is so important in this game. It's important in the dry, but it's even more important in the wet. Rob Andrew again going for the long kick-off. It's touchdown, so the 22 drop out. Can England get into this, and they'll feel a lot better if they can play a little bit of constructive rugby themselves. Ackford got up and palmed it back, and England have got this one. Hill putting it down the blind side, but again his kick is wild. Out over the touchline directly. You're not allowed to kick directly into touch from outside the 22. So the line out back from where he kicked, and New Zealand with the throw-in. A wasted chance, a good ball again for England. When somebody as experienced as Richard Hill is showing this sort of tension, Steve, you realise what a big game they think it is.
I was just thinking that John is a very experienced and competent performer, but when he makes two mistakes like that, you can realise the pressure that these players are feeling out there.
Sean Fitzpatrick with the throw. Dooley goes through, and Fox, great kick from Fox.
Well played. I see that marked contrast. They're absolutely relaxed and calm under pressure to put the ball out.
Short line out from England. Hill again struggling, but he gets it away this time to Guscott. Well, they managed to set it up, even though Guscott was tackled way behind the gain line. Andrew kicking back for the open side. I fancy Oti was in front of him. Oh, but Kerwin's round him. And what a pity that Terry Wright tried to take that one, because Michael Jones was inside. Still New Zealand have it. Out to Fox, kicks for the corner.
That was a dreadful mistake by Chris Oti. His angles were completely wrong, and Kerwin picked up the ball and ran the ball back 20 yards, and once again England unfortunately have put themselves under pressure.
Tremendous support for John Kerwin there. Michael Jones inevitably right there to take the ball. Right decision by Grant Fox to kick across field. It's all about pressure from New Zealand's perspective. Play the game inside the England 22.
Wade Dooley, a lot of clambering over people, but the referee happy with it. That's a better pass and a better kick.
That's more like it from those two England half-backs. If we can just settle down, we can still get this game in the grasp. That's far better.
Rob Andrew really getting some weight into that kick. Jeff Probyn there. England loosehead. England tighthead, sorry. 35 years old. The oldest member of the team. Knocked on there by Zinzan Brook. I think he's having a little complaint to the referee, saying that he was clambered all over and put into England. Now they really have got to get this scrum right. That's better. Suddenly the scrum's solid. Rory Underwood just holding off and tackles John Timu into touch.
This is more like the England we know, a solid scrum. Lovely pass from Hill and a lovely kick from Hill. And now we're putting pressure back on New Zealand. Far better.
The good thing there, Timu being forced into touch. So the throw in with England, another shortened line out. Dooley, Richards who caught it at the back. Guscott taking the dummy run. Oti looking for somewhere to go. Oh, and it's a high tackle, no question of it. And Gary Wetton, it was the New Zealand captain penalised for hanging round the neck. So a penalty, again, right in front of the posts for John Webb.
No, quite fair. Oti came back into the forwards to set the ball up, and Wetton was clumsy, I guess, rather than malicious in any sense, but clumsily took him round the head. And fair enough, fair penalty. Yes, England much more controlled winning that ball, kicking down, chasing it well, winning the line out, and interestingly enough, winning the next line out cleanly. They're looking for a little bit of dominance in the line out now.
Dr. John Webb, who won his place back in the England team in Fiji on the summer tour. Kick 1 out of 1 so far. That was much more difficult than this. It's there, straight through the middle. The crowd in the south stand give the first signal that all was well. And Webb has got off to exactly the start he wanted. 16 minutes gone, and the score's level again, 6-all.
And the good news for England is they deserve those 3 points. A good passage of play there for 5-10 minutes. They've now settled down. Hopefully now they can take it from here.
It's all been very tight and very nervous. We've seen nothing really that resembles second phase play. The 2 second rows go up. Dooley makes it his own. Hill again working the blind side, the short side. And Terry Wright tackled into touch by Rory Underwood. Just clipped his ankles and it was enough.
Great kick-off take by Dooley, good kick by Hill. Now we're rolling.
Two-man line out this time. Ackford at the front, Dooley behind. And for the New Zealanders, Gary Wetton and Ian Jones up against Dooley. They're all over each other, but Ackford gets a clean jump and the referee says that's good enough for me. Teague setting it up in the middle. And we were told that the referees were going to be very hard on this. There's been a little bit of an area of interpretation in the last couple of seasons as to how long you can actually play the ball on the floor. The law says you've got to make it available immediately. Jim Fleming decided that was not immediate enough. Fox puts it high, Jones gets through onto Richards, but England have it. Well picked up by Guscott, but his kick deflects and Kerwin decides to have another go at Oti. Fancies his chances.
Far better tackle by Chris Oti there. He got his angles right when he drew and he brought down Kerwin. You cannot give Kerwin 1 yard of room.
John Kerwin, the big Auckland winger, he was up to 16 stone 4 last season. He's trimmed down to 15 stone 1 this. He said last season he could see the gaps, but he couldn't get into them anymore, David. But looking sharp again this year, sort of really refound his form in Argentina.
Absolutely. He's been under a bit of criticism in New Zealand for exactly that, for not having the pace and the decisiveness he used to have. This is a great New Zealand drive.
Kerwin in again, trying to use that enormous strength to get things going, but he's been robbed. Oti in there took the ball off him. Hill just chips it over the back. Fox has it. And Terry Wright appearing on the left wing. Remember, he was a winger. He's got terrific pace. And John Webb gets his kick to touch away safely, but he didn't have much time, so he only makes about 10 metres.
Passage of play demonstrated a very interesting fact. The top-class rugby players leave it to the last man to kick. New Zealand moved the ball as far as they could, looking for a gap. When there was nothing on, the last man kicked rather than kicking inside.
Wetton there claiming a push in the back. The referee saying that he did it intentionally. Fox fumbling, but it went backwards. Good tackling by England, but New Zealand still have it. Basham. Innes puts the ball up. Hill into touch. It really is slippery.
Yeah, the conditions down there are pretty bad, John. It's not like Graham Fox to drop balls or Richard Hill to miss passes, but I think as the game goes on, that water on the surface will be absorbed, and it should be easy to handle as the game progresses.
In a way, the ball stays more slippery if the turf is as good as this, because the wet stays in the grass, whereas mud tends to be a little sticky.
Exactly, the groundsman can't win. He gets criticised either way.
Zinzan Brooke gets it for New Zealand. The dummy out to Kerwin with a little bit of space. Wright appears outside him. Good tackle from Webb. Penalty, England. Michael Jones. No, it wasn't Jones. Just looking to see who it is getting up. It's Alan Wetton, penalised for killing the ball, going past it onto the floor.
Interesting, New Zealand using Terry Wright on the outside, and watch now just as Michael Jones first there whips it up off the ground. That's really high class loose forward play.
Kerwin takes it, touch missed. Fox hoists it. It's not really far enough, but Kerwin did well to get up there. Nobody took advantage of it, but John Kerwin looking for work, going forward. From behind the player who kicked the ball, the forwards had to be put onside. It's an England scrum. Midway through the first half, 6-all. The scrum going down, but the referee deciding that it was just the wet conditions. Somebody slipped, nobody at fault there. puts it in again. The ball must be heeled inside the loose head prop's outside foot. Otherwise, it's not a legal heel, and that obviously didn't make it.
There's a real psychological battle that goes on between the front rows and the referees. Who's going to be at fault? Who's going to get penalised? It's a real battle.
He's going to steady them down. I thought for a moment it was going to be... No, it's a penalty. Jeff Bogan penalised for turning in, twisting. And so Fox has a chance. Yeah, you're pulling it down, says the referee. There's Roger Utley, the England coach, head in his hands, not happy at all with the way the forward play is going. Certainly England have done better in the last 10 minutes than when they started, but they're still struggling. Well, difficult to see. In that situation, Steve McDowell seemed to be outside his bind right from the start, and unless the pulling down was on the far side, the side where the referee was, it looked a difficult call to me.
I would say that's a very harsh decision for me. How can he penalise with a pulling down when both front rows were roaring up like bulls? I thought it was an amazing decision.
And Grant Fox getting the slow hand clap. I don't think this is as much anti-New Zealand as anti the length of time he takes. But who can blame him? He's been so successful. No, it's going to be short. Webb takes it comfortably in front, but slices his kick. New Zealand line out inside the England 22.
It's not like what is usually a very sporting Twickenham crowd to be slow hand clapping kickers. I hope that doesn't become a feature of the tournament.
81,
Sean Fitzpatrick, the New Zealand hooker. His father played for the All Blacks in the early 50s. It's a throw to the back again, and Jones has it cleanly. Almost away, he's so quick. But a good tackle by Wade Dooley, of all people. England certainly burying their men when they go in for those tackles. That's one thing that is very decisive. They might look a little tentative in other areas, but they really are knocking their men down.
England tackling one outside. New Zealand got past them once, but that was round the outside. And I think New Zealand maybe look to do that again because there's no room down the middle.
There you saw Rob Andrews' value as an outside half. Was he making a really big tackle? New Zealand holding the ball this time, perhaps building for a second shove. Dean Richards up the back. If they were to turn it on now, they could possibly go through, but instead they roll it off the side. And Peter Winterbottom being called out. That will be a penalty to New Zealand, I'm sure. Yes, the referee ruling that that was a punch.
He was right, John. We could see it from here. Very, very silly from a guy as experienced as Peter Winterbottom. I mean, to do it on any part of the field is crazy, but in front of your own post, it's even more ridiculous.
Well, he certainly swung the arm, but I think he actually hit Wade Dooley's backside.
So it wasn't a silly idea, it was a bad shot.
So, Grant Fox's fourth penalty. Successful with two, he's missed one. Very studied build-up to the kick, that funny little shake of the arms, and right through the middle, and that takes his total to 490. England have got to learn that lesson. You certainly can't give away stupid penalties that were unnecessary. That ball was dead, it was a waste of 3 points.
Absolutely. Interesting point about Grant Fox's kicking style and rhythm. Some years ago he was going through a bad patch and he took advice from a sports psychologist who got him into a very definite rhythm. He does exactly the same thing every time, same number of breaths, some number of paces, and he's in a real groove.
So So a tight, tense match, exactly as we thought. The New Zealanders have the edge. 27 minutes gone in the first half. There it is, confirmation. Fox 3 from 4. 9 points to New Zealand. Ian Jones getting in there to win the ball for New Zealand. Dash it back to Fox. And they make about 10 metres. René Orque, the touch judge on this side from France. 2 Scotsmen. England have won a total of 6 line-outs. New Zealand have won 6. If you look at that the other way around, England have stolen 1 of New Zealand's throw-ins. The referee getting very firm, telling the jumpers just to jump for the ball, leave the rest to him. Leonard takes it forward. Hill this time, to Carling, to Guscott. Wide to OT, who's away. And he's using that strength of his. And the first sign, the first real bit of action for the England fans to cheer. Chris Oating really using his strength to get past 2 men there.
But he was put outside by a beautiful pass from Guscott. You'll see it on your screens now. Guscott misses out 2 men, puts OT in half a yard of space, and that's all he needs. There, beautiful outside curling.
And that will give him a little bit of confidence, because one of the people he ran through at the end there was Terry Wright, the New Zealand fullback, who's very slight to look at. And if he feels he can go through him, he'll put his ears back and go for it.
Well, Otis 14 stone, Terry Wright's about 3 stone wet through, so it shouldn't be a really fair physical contest, should it?
Well, we'll give him 12.5 stone. England with the ball again. Up and under from Rob Andrew, and Guscott almost got that. Knocked on by New Zealand first, so England. No, the referee in fact giving it the other way. I thought he was giving the knock on against the All Blacks, but he's given it against Jeremy Guscott. Penalty, collapsing, and Alan Wetton gets up from the scrum and puts his hands on his head. He can't believe it. It is twisting, said the referee. You were going down. Well, I've got 2 guys either side of me here, both shaking their heads.
No team in their right mind collapses the scrum in front of their own post, but it's very difficult for the referee, and he feels he has to impose himself on the front rows, and he's going to penalise someone every time. I guess the trick is don't be in front of your post when he penalises you.
Of course, what the detractors from that would say is that precisely because the referee wouldn't expect you to go down in front of your post, sometimes those wily old boys in the front row do exactly that.
Well, it's very dark in there, John. I'm sure John Fleming can't see what's happening. I think he must be playing it by numbers at the moment, but at least it's equalled it out anyway.
He's got it. John Webb, 3 out of 3 for him, and the score's 9-9. It's anybody's match, but England showing a few attacks of promise in the last few minutes. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half.
This may not be the most spectacular match I've ever seen, but my God, what an absorbing contest. 2 teams totally equal. There's not going to be 3 points in this at the end.
I have to say, I think that there'll be about 6 in it. I think something's going to happen soon. A try and some sustained pressure could see one side go ahead.
And again, problems in drawing that ball in. But the New Zealand fly hack went straight into touch, so England get a line out just about where the ball landed in any case. Richard Lowe, a big prop from Waikato. He's back at 6. Michael Jones just come forward to 7. Zinzan Brooks gone back to 8. Wade Dooley pulling back. Number 6 Alan Wetton penalised. Wade Dooley smiles in approval. He liked that decision. throw-in. It's allowed because he caught the ball. It wouldn't have been allowed had it gone into the crowd. Now the ball boy quickly given the thrower in a second ball to use. That would not have been allowed, but as he caught the ball in touch, retrieved it and made the throw in, that was fine. Ian Jones gets it. Jason Leonard holds on there to Graham Basham. And hands on the ground from England. They're trying to get that ball back. And Ackford penalised for just delaying too long and having one final little shove. Again, he'll be sick if this ball just creeps over the bar.
Well, I'm sorry, John, but that was a ridiculous 10 yards. I mean, all Paul Ackford did was get up after the tackle. He didn't do anything illegal, and suddenly Jim Fleming's given another 10 yards to the All Blacks. I certainly hope this doesn't go over. It will be totally without any cause of justice.
This really is right at the range of Grant Fox's kicking. I have a feeling he won't have the legs for this one.
Hope you're right, David.
Well, Grant Fox now with his first real tester. He had one wide on the right that he didn't get anywhere near the length on. This is from his right side. Just watch the routine again. Well, he struck it well, but he pulled it just past the near post, perhaps going for that extra distance. When you go to hit the ball that extra little bit of length, you very often tend to hook it a shade. So, Grant Fox now 3 out of 5. In 5 minutes, just over to go until half-time. The score's level, still at 9-all. Good work by Kerwin. Grant Fox not happy with that kick. John Webb gathers it safely. And that is a good one. Superb kick from the England fullback.
The first man there was Dean Richards. He's either quicker than we thought or he reads the game very well.
I think he took the shortcut there, Steve.
Ackford wants a good line-out ball. He's been very accurate with his tapping, considering how wet the ball has been. That wasn't so good from the back. That was Dean Richards and Mike Teague. Now the forwards have got to hold off. Yes, they didn't. Wade Dooley going within 10 metres. If he stayed outside it and waited, then everything would have been all right. But offside, and the New Zealanders electing for the scrum back at the point where the ball was kicked. Grant Fox hoists it, and a bit of trouble off the ball. Chris Otey holding on to it well. Did he get it back the right side? It looks as if he perhaps did. He's got to come back quicker, says the referee, Jim Fleming. And he's given the scrum to the All Blacks because they were going forward. There was a little scuffle off the ball there, and the referee going over to his touch judge, Rene Oke, who of course had a good view of that while Jim Fleming was following the play. And Rene Oke, I can tell you, was talking there in English, and the man he's called out is Craig Innes. Sorry, it's Bernie McKyle. So it's going to be a penalty for rough play, for foul play back on the halfway line.
He's quite right, actually, John, because it was Rob Andrew was sent off the ball. I've never seen Rob throw a punch in his life, but Bernie McCarthy ran straight into him, and Rob retaliated, and the linesman saw it, and quite rightly, it's a penalty for England.
Yes, he decided that the check was deliberate, that he could have got out of the way, and decided just to leave himself there to check the England player. And John Webb, from England being under enormous pressure in their own 22 with a scrum to the All Blacks, John Webb has a chance now to give England the lead. They haven't had the lead since the 5th minute when Grant Fox equalised Webb's first penalty. Now this, today, I would think right on the limit of John Webb's range. Once the ball gets up high, the wind is pretty well straight across. But Twickenham swirls in all sorts of ways before it gets up there. He's not long enough. And he was wide as well. Missed touch, Peter Winterbottom running it back at the All Blacks, making a dent in them. No scrum half there. The ball was out. Zinzan Brook nowhere near offside. And Ackford making it his own, but he couldn't quite. Just knocked it on when England were winning a good ball. Trying to hurry it back. The crowd don't like it, but I think the referee was right.
He's quite clearly knocked on. What is very interesting and a bit disturbing for New Zealand is that Grant Fox is not his usual meticulously accurate self. He's missed touch a couple of times. Some of his kicks aren't deep enough.
Oh, and a free kick given against the All Blacks for not putting the ball in straight. In the old days, that would have been a penalty. Now it's a free kick. But that's bad enough, because England have got a number of set plays worked out from this situation. What are they going to go for? It's all the way back to Rob Andrew. Goes for the drop goal. He's got it! The little tap penalty from Richard Hill feeds Rob Andrew in a very deep position. And the outside half putting the ball over, getting his 13th drop goal for England.
And right on half-time, couldn't be a better time to score any points, but a drop goal there from a cricket free from the scrum. I mean, how many times do you see nowadays cricket feeds at scrum? So really, it was a manna from heaven for England.
So England back in the lead, and as Steve Smith said, at an absolutely crucial time. Well taken by Ackford, but a wild pass. Carling retrieves it and does very well with his kick too. And Richard Hill looking back at Rob Andrew. Rob Andrew saying, OK, calm it down, neither of us at fault. And half-time called. England, I'm sure, very pleased to hear that whistle. 3 penalties each. 1 drop goal to England, so the score, England 12, New Zealand 9. And there's the territorial advantage. Look at that, New Zealand well over 50%, 60 plus. England, though, have the lead, so on that score, they've been lucky. And as far as possession goes, that's the more important one in many ways. It's been absolutely 50-50. So England have been put under pressure territorially, but no problems now with their possession. And the second half, off it goes. And that's the first time England have really got the New Zealand pack going backwards. Big throw out from Wade Dooley. The kick charged down. A double rebound, so no offsides. John Timu looking for the outside. Tries the little tap through, but Underwood very alert today. Dived on it. Managed to get down like a goalkeeper and deflected into touch. Steve Smith in the white corner. That was encouraging too, right at the top of the half.
Great start, good kick-off, and then Paul Ackford had a mental aberration. He tried to throw it back like an American quarterback and put Rob Andrew under awful pressure, but it was a tremendous kick-off in England.
Zinzanbrook with the palm, but it wasn't a good one, and Dean Richards just got a hand on Basham. Stop the pass, and England have it. Hill with the little kick. He might have done better to have even put that one deeper, to really put them deep down into the 22, Steve.
That'll do me, John. That's 30 yards out. It's our throw. It's good pressure. It's a good start by England.
England have shortened the line out. You can shorten it down to 2 men, but they've got 3 in. Dean Richards at the back joining the second rows. Good palm from Ackford, but that's all right because the ball went backwards. Teague carries it on. In fact, the fumble almost working for England there. Winterbottom feeds it. Guscott puts it up. Wrights underneath it and makes the mark. The fair catch. The fullback must stand still at the time he takes the catch, and although he's really a winger, he's got tremendous experience of playing at fullback for the province, Auckland. And here's the England attack. Guscott's kick. And Terry Wright firm underneath it.
Surprised Jerry kicked there. I thought he'd done better running because he's a brilliant runner.
Well, Wright's touch finder about 10 metres outside the 22. Ackford and Dooley against Wetton and Jones. That's too long for anybody. Hill gets there first. And the All Blacks have it. Good little kick into the wide open spaces from Basham.
It's like being at Wimbledon, John. It's going from one side to the other. It's a fascinating contest. Both teams, whenever they get the ball, using it really well to put the other team under pressure. And really, I know it's a word we keep repeating, but this game is all about pressure.
The battle for possession is so even that one side wins it, the other side wins it, and no side is able to spend enough time on attack to break the opposition.
Gary Wetton there coming right to the front of the line out. Steve McDowell going back to second. Alan Wetton up to 3. Ian Jones 4. But it's the England boys, Ackford and Dooley in tandem, who get it. Big kick from Carling, but it's to Kerwin. Is he going to use the chance to run? No, he hoists the big kick. Rob Andrew under it. And a good kick if it finds touch. It does, it's beautiful. Yes, Brian Anderson, the touch judge on this side, saying that ball was in touch and your feet were in touch.
It was too. Rob Andrews on his Weetabix this morning. That must have been 50, 60 yards, that kick.
It really was a tremendous kick because the angle wasn't that great. From 6 or 7 metres in from touch, he's put it certainly 60. Dooley penalised for backing into his opposite number. Grant Fox takes a quick one and hoists it. Guscott underneath it. Doesn't gather it cleanly and tries to unload it, but also gets in trouble. He's playing advantage at the moment, but he's seen there was a knock-on by the English team. And it's a scrum down to New Zealand just inside the England half.
This is something I thought New Zealand would try to do from the beginning. Let's play the game at their pace to try and quicken the game up. Grant Fox attempted it to do then, tapping it and kicking it high quickly, increasing the tempo. England like to play from set piece to set piece, use the lines, and they've done that effectively.
There's the scrum count. England 4. England only winning 1 scrum there, the others ending up in penalties. Shows the sort of pressure they're under. Scrum has turned through 90 degrees, so the referee resets it. This is a law brought in a couple of seasons ago for safety. Stop the scrum wheeling and players going to ground. Trying to get the ball wide. Kerwin out to right, but he's got nowhere to go. They've wrapped him up. Now can the England forwards get in behind and move them forward? That's the important thing. It goes down. And the All Blacks given the put in because they were going forward. I must say I didn't read it that way.
Unbelievable. England clearly going forward there. That should have been England put in.
Some referees take it in the overall situation, some right at the last moment. They were going forward at the last moment. Pick up there from Zinzan Brook, sets up the ruck. Webb does very well, offloads it to Mike Teague and allows his big number 6 to set up the ruck. Chris Oatey joins in. He wanted that one to skip closer to touch. Right hoists it, it goes to Webb. He's outside the 22, can't put it direct into touch, so he just puts a long one back. And Zinzan Brook, the number 8, is there. And nobody can find touch at the moment. John Webb up under it, he's put everybody onside. Bishop tried to run, but hit tremendously by Peter Winterbottom. And the New Zealanders in trouble. It's Craig Innes, but he got it away. Timu cutting back through the middle. Gary Wetton up there. And New Zealand have done very well to carry that ball wide and bring it out to halfway. Chris Oatey coming back. John Webb, and he at last gets the ball into touch.
This is precisely the tempo which New Zealand needs to establish on the game. Moving the ball wide, backing up, keeping the ball in the hand. England haven't allowed them to do that by making their tackles and winning their line-out so far. New Zealand can break the game up and play it at pace, and I think they can come out on top.
So, play now down onto the England 22. Remember, just 3 points in it, 12-9 to England. The throw from Fitzpatrick, and McDowell it was, his prop getting through, and almost through the middle there, it was Bernie McKyle. New Zealand have it, Cohen coming wide, that's Fitzpatrick out on the wing, he won't outflank them, but he'll try and go through them. And some good handling from New Zealand, McKyle again. But he's wrapped up on the tackle. Comes loose, Michael Jones, now he's dangerous. Kicks through, and Webb fly hacks into touch. Accidental offside. And a scrum to New Zealand. Kicked the ball into his own man, accidentally. His own player couldn't get out of the way of it. So it's a scrum to New Zealand, they're only about 5 metres out. Are they going to try and go for the big shove? Brook has picked up. He gets just far enough forward to set up the run. Lowe giving it a go. And Bishop this time feeds it out. And they try to get that one away, but Hill and Guscott getting in each other's way, but the ball did not go forward, says the referee.
Well, a crucial opportunity for New Zealand. It's so difficult to move the ball from a static position. Because they tried to run the ball short and close from the scrum, they gave themselves very little opportunity to get the ball wide from the second phase. The backs were up very flat.
And Steve, again, the thing that started that, from England's point of view, that escape from a very difficult position, was tremendous defence.
Yes, it was good passenger play by New Zealand, though. They ran the ball well there for about 2 or 3 minutes and got in England's half, but the England tackling is fantastic.
Those line-outs still very tight. That one for the All Blacks. The big kick. And Webb can't afford to wait for it to go dead, but makes a good touch.
Little tease of a kick, the one you want to roll over the try line and touch it down, and it stays a yard short.
Gary Wetton, a quick line out there, not allowing England to form. England perhaps feeling the pace, a little bit slow to react, but they've got the ball. Teague in there.
this is precisely what I thought New Zealand had to do, throw the ball in quickly to the line-out. Bernie McGahu, in fact, made a mistake there in trying to get the pass away in a difficult situation. Should have held on to it and set the ball up for a maul.
So in front of the post, just outside the 22. The loop around. Did he get him? Yes, he did. That was beautifully done. And there's the first try. Michael Jones in support. A beautiful try for New Zealand. Superb try from Michael Jones. A lovely set move, working it wide on the right side.
Absolutely using the pace of Graham Basham to get around Craig Innes, using John Kerwin's pace and power on the outside. Here it comes now. Innes brings it back in. Basham, lovely pass. Kerwin outside Oti with a fend. And who should be there on the inside? Michael Jones. New Zealand can break them.
Here it is, that lovely loop around. Kerwin was always outside Oti. Webb did well with the tackle, but Michael Jones, having kept that run, knowing exactly what to expect, if Kerwin wasn't caught, he was always going to get that inside pass. Superb try. It took a long time coming. 12 minutes gone now in the second half. And England just regrouping. Fox with a conversion. He'd love this to go over to take them 3 points clear. They're 1 point in the lead now. 13-12. Yes, right through the middle. From the moment it left his boot, a superb kick from Grant Fox. New Zealand 15, England 12, and that perhaps the crucial moment of the match, David Kirk.
Absolutely, New Zealand have been threatening for a long time. Pace, power, accuracy. Kerwin on the outside. John Webb made a very good tackle because John Kerwin's not easy. Accuracy, the try.
Meanwhile, Rob Andrew has kicked the ball dead. New Zealand to drop out on their own 22. Steve Smith.
Poor try, really, I thought, John. Chris Oti once again got the wrong angle on John Kerwin. It was a straight one-on-one, and you cannot get the wrong angle on that man. He went round Oti, and of course, supporters on the inside. They were behind the defence, and it's 6 valuable points. But this game's not over yet, believe you me.
Long dropout from his own 22 to Carling. Carling, well, sizing up touch. He's not very good when he lays back and tries to do that sort of thing. And in fact, New Zealand fine touch back on the England 10-metre line, which was where Will Carling took the ball. He's far better when he really gives it the charge and goes for it and chases after it, but just trying to play the really cultured kicker role there and put the ball close to the touchline and didn't manage it at all. Brian Moore with the throw-in. Ackford. Guscott deciding it's time to have a run. And a penalty to New Zealand. They're trying desperately to get that ball back, and they've gone past it and killed it again.
Danger period for England now. I think the penalty was for going over and grabbing the ball going backwards or diving over the top. The referees are really being very, very strict on this. In fact, he's just indicated there it was diving over the top. They cannot afford to get a 6-point cushion against New Zealand.
Will Carling has a very big decision to make right now. He has to decide if they should stick with the tactics they played in the first half, relying on the line out and as much clean ball as they can get and playing the ball close to the touchline. At that time, he clearly either asked Rob Andrew or allowed Rob Andrew to pass the ball into the middle of the field, and they went nowhere. They must maintain some sort of tactical coherence.
15 minutes gone. Plenty of time for England to come back. But suddenly a big swing. Having been 3 points in the lead, they've just conceded a try, which is the first real telling point of any game that's gone for a long period without a try. And now, if he can put a penalty on with it, England will have to show what they're made of. Ball was just falling as he went to kick it, I think, but he still went through it and got it over. There's Alex Wiley, a little happier now. He'll never show much emotion, but Grant Fox gives New Zealand now the 6-point cushion, and that becomes crucial because England would have to now score twice to take the lead. Richard Hill, Webb going past Wetton, and Winterbottom loses it, tackled from behind and it caught him out. Good kick left-footed from Webb. Wetton, Alan Wetton that is, underneath it, and Ray Dooley claiming he went through with the ball, but offside given against him. The big second row, 6'8" of him. Again, they've hoisted it, trying to put England under pressure. Winterbottom takes it well, though. Rory Underwood, who hasn't really seen the ball, and this time it's only to clear to touch.
Again, pace is the key word in New Zealand's armoury at the moment. They want to play the game at pace, keep the ball moving, kick it if they get a penalty, kick it in play.
There he is, England's most capped player and the record try scorer, but he's had no opportunity so far in this game. New Zealand get the tap from the front of the line out. They've done much better from that area in this second half. Underwood underneath it, and he takes it well. Really strong and firm under that ball, despite the attention of John Timu, and makes the fair catch. Finds a safe touch. And England now needs some ball to begin to put the pressure on New Zealand, but it's a New Zealand throw-in at the moment, and they've been doing rather better from the front of the line out. England have it. And Rob Andrew seeing a little gap he can go for. Hands it on to Brian Moore. He only goes very occasionally, the England outside half, but when he does, Guscott gets there in support of Oti, who found no change out of Kerwin. And number 7, Peter Winterbottom, penalised for going past the ball and killing it. He must stay on his feet.
There's no way, Johnny. He was not going past the ball, he was not killing the ball, he was going on the ball and it was coming back England's side.
I think the penalty was for obstruction. If you watch carefully, he comes and knocks someone off the ball as they're coming. There. Pushes Mikhail out of the way.
Ball hoisted again. And England under pressure, but they've got it. That was a vital one to win. Rob Andrew and a safe touch. to New Zealand. We're coming up to the three-quarter way through mark. Almost 60 minutes gone. And a real struggle there in the front. Oh, and that was given against Paulak, but it could just as easily have gone the other way because he was lent into, but it gives Grant Fox another chance.
When things aren't going your way, things aren't going your way. We'll now see how good this England side is because they've got to dig deep here.
Well, Ackford going across, he couldn't complain about it. They seem to be coming from both sides, and I think I'd have liked to have seen the referee keep them a little more separate. So Grant Fox has already kicked 4 penalties, plus a conversion. Has he got it there? It's hit the post. Come back to Carling. And the England captain's missed touch. This could be dangerous. England need cover on the right. They got there quickly and they've won the ruck. The referee saying the ball was out. No New Zealander offside. Leonard wins it. Tries to get to his feet. He must leave it now. Teague going up the short side. Mike Teague from Gloucester, man of the series on the Lions tour to Australia in 1989. I can tell you the referee is now saying let's have less jumping off shoulders. The possession now has gone to 61% New Zealand, 39% England. And we know what it was at half-time, 50-50. There's the ball on the England side if they can get a foot in there. The crowd hate it because it looked as if it might come back England's way, but it was New Zealand that had the momentum. But once again, Rene Oke's flag is up, and if this is against England, that is a penalty in a very kickable position. And no, it's against New Zealand. Referee Jim Fleming walking towards the New Zealand side. And he's calling out Richard Lowe. And the touch judge spotting that Richard Lowe was stamping. There's the signal. And he's missed touch. And Basham returning that with interest. That was a really bad mistouch from Rob Andrew. John Webb making touch on the far side. Quick throw in again though. And Carling this time getting a good boot to it. Terry Wright's back there, but he's not got much room. And England suddenly have possession in a good place if they can attack now. Mike Teague driving forward, they need to win this one. Hill going blind, but he only had Otie and Webb there. They're pushed back, and that will definitely be a New Zealand scrum. A wrong decision there, Steve.
Yes, it went the wrong way, unfortunately. We had men over on the right. But the European champions are responding. The Kiwis in the last 20 minutes have been playing like the world champions we know they are. And England have got to respond in the way they just have done there to be with any chance at all. But I'm sure this England team will not go down for want of trying.
Scrum down, and as I suggested, a New Zealand ball. Zinzan Brooke packing wide, a little fumble there, but the referee says it was okay. He saw it. It wasn't a question of missing it. He saw it quite clearly, but said it wasn't a fumble. It said it was a fumble, but not a knock-on.
He must have thought he kicked it then.
Very important for England that they maintain some pressure now. Stay at the New Zealand end.
It was Ian Jones who's come to the front of the line-out for this one, marking Paul Ackford. And successfully, no one got a clear hand to it. But Basham doing very well, making 30 metres there down the line from a very narrow angle.
Just what England didn't want, to lose the ball on their own line-out and then be back in their own half.
Dean Richards getting a very controlled two-handed palm. Probyn taking the knockdown. Rob Andrew hitting it high. He had to. The people were on him. And England having one good possession under pressure again. Scrum down New Zealand.
Yes, unfortunately, we're not getting enough possession for us to kick the ball away like that. The possession we get, we must use, and we must use constructively. If Rob kicks, he's got to give us the chance to get the ball back. Again, it's New Zealand put in, and they will get the ball.
New Zealand scrum's much more impressive than England's. John Webb forgetting where he was for a moment, digging his foot in as if to make a mark, but realising then that he couldn't make one outside the 22, and he covered up well. Richard Hill gets it away, Rob Andrew into touch.
I think he realised where he was when he went to that All Black pack then, John.
It's a rather strange decision from New Zealand. A good, well-run scrum, a little chip which didn't allow them to retain position.
There's the breakdown of what the two outside halves have done. 9 passes from Rob Andrew, 10 from Grant Fox. There is the New Zealand outside half. Scored 1,000 more points than anybody else in the history of New Zealand first-class rugby. Good tap down. New Zealand winning a lot more line-out ball in the second half. Kerwin coming in through the middle. Basham coming back onto the blind side. The only man left to chase that, Sean Fitzpatrick again. But Basham's kick rolling into touch, just 6 or 7 metres out.
There's no doubt in the second half the line-outs have made a big play in this game, and I think New Zealand are now starting to dominate this area of the match. England must win some line-out ball and get out of their own half very quickly.
Minutes gone in the second half, 12 minutes to go. England not out of reach, but certainly under pressure. Wade Dooley gets the ball, but he couldn't control it. But fortunately for England, it was Ian Jones got a hand on that, but Gary Wetton penalised for going offside. So the first real injury in the whole game. Zinzanbrook in trouble. Just coming off, needs some treatment. The score 18-12 to New Zealand. With the former England captain Steve Smith. Steve, England have got to work it hard now to really turn this game around, haven't they?
Yes, 10 minutes to go. They're on the halfway line. They must win some line-out ball. They must get into the New Zealand 25-yard line, and they must put the pressure back on the Kiwis.
If there is a substitute, it's bound to be Andy Earl. Flanker, who played in the first test against Australia this summer. Good run through the middle from good possession from the line-out. Again, Teague getting in there. But can England actually turn it into possession? Yet again, it looks as if the scrum is going to New Zealand, and England knock on. And a replacement coming on, Andy Earl it is, number 19. This will be his 10th cap, the farmer from Canterbury. Again, Kerwin going wide, but he's got away from Rob Andrew. Tries to go around Webb, but Webb takes him into touch. But the big winger now looking very dangerous. David Kirk.
New Zealand working the right-hand side very well. Traditionally a strong part of the New Zealand game. Working right from the scrum to the right winger with the fullback inside or outside.
Yes, I seem to remember a certain David Kirk in tandem with Kerwin working a try in the last World Cup final down that right side.
Absolutely, one of the most enjoyable tries of my whole life.
And going through the middle, Michael Jones magnificently in support of Craig Innes. And again, the players really having trouble with this law. Number 19, Andy Earl, who's just come on, penalised for, again, going past the ball and going to ground beyond the ball.
Yes, fair play to the referee. He's been consistent in this law to both sides, but I'm kind of thinking that people are trying to create things here, and they're being very, very strict on them. And once against there, New Zealand were going to win the ball, and he penalised the New Zealander.
The problem comes when you've got nobody to actually form the maul or ruck on.
Exactly.
It's a very good point. Players arriving, driving, find they just drive into thin air and they fall over.
Richards gets it for England. Rob Andrew again trying to go through the middle. He's got space. Guscott can't take his pass though. And Jerry Guscott, who has very safe hands, making more mistakes today than I've seen him probably in a whole season usually.
Yeah, that just summed up England's day there. Nice break by Rob Andrew, bit of an overlap, and we just couldn't take advantage of it.
Bit of pressure on the scrum, but the All Blacks get it, and again up goes the big kick. Webb is there to take it, but oh, he's given the mark. Well, he ought to be still. I'm not so sure he could ever have been still in that situation with both feet on the ground.
But I think his steps were small, put it that way.
John Webb has had an excellent game. He's taken everything they've chucked at him, Steve, and he's kicked the goals.
Yes, he's played very well, but again you see we've kicked the ball out, and it's the line out against New Zealand. The way things are going, it looks as though they might win this one as well.
32.5 minutes gone. There'll be just a little bit of injury time in the second half. Fitzpatrick being told to hurry up and get the ball in. Wetton just got a fingertip to it. Working the ball back into Kerr when he changes his line beautifully. He was coming inside and he swerved out again. And New Zealand doing what they do best, holding on to possession. They treat it as being so precious, David.
Absolutely. New Zealand exerting a vice-like grip on the second half, putting so much pressure on the England halves and the backs that any time England do win the ball, they're unable to take any real advantage from it. Vice-like All Black pressure.
And the referee having troubles here setting the scrum, telling England to get back, and they don't feel like it at this stage. But now, there we are, at last. They're tucked in. And again, good dummy runs from the set piece. And again, the support players going over the top and down. It was Michael Jones that time who was penalised as he tried to get to Craig Innes.
I've got a feeling, John, this rule may cause the players some consternation during the length of this tournament. I think it's something we've got to sort out very early on, because the attacking players can't understand what's going wrong.
And Earl knocked off it. England had the penalty. The ball going forward off Andy Earl, and New Zealand players trying to get in there and clean it up, but they were in front of the man who played the ball. And that's not Andy Earl who took the ball. He's got up. He's fine. Trying to see who that is. I can't at the moment.
It's an All Black, John.
I think it's the captain.
I think it's Gary Wetton, yes. I think if we look, we'll see he was hit by, I think we've gone past the bow, Will Cowling's shoulder as Will Cowling came through.
And there, Gary Wetton impassively looking on Alex Wiley. Gary Wetton winning today his 53rd cap, just 2 off Colin Mee's record. And he's looking a bit fragile. England electing to take the kick at goal. John Webb, it's a difficult kick, 15 metres in, just inside the 10-metre line. Steve Smith, 5 minutes to go, a wise decision?
I think he's right, John, especially obviously the kick goes over, because there's only 5 minutes to go, but if it can go over, there's 3 points in it. We've got to get back in their half, and who knows, anything can happen. First thing first, though, he's got to get the kick. If he doesn't get the kick, it's a bad decision.
Roger Utley, hand over mouth, right at the back of the crowd there. No, that's going wide. He sliced it a bit. The first one he's missed. But touch not found. Peter Winterbottom underneath it. I'd like to have seen it come in field. He's passed it in instead. Richards being bundled towards touch. And the touch judges flag up. England unhappy about that because they had the ball.
Rightly so. I think the touch judge misread it, and the ball had actually been passed infield when he thought the players carrying it had gone over the touchline.
So still 18-12 to New Zealand. Just over 3 minutes left on the clock. We can expect a couple of minutes of injury time. That injury to Wetton, there was one earlier to Zinzan Brook, and he went off. But it won't be a great deal. And New Zealand had that one again. New Zealand scrum. A little knock-on in the line-out by England.
Yes, that's why they're killing us, John, in those line-outs. Really, unless we can get some line-out possession in the next 5 minutes, then we're going to be really struggling.
Back to Fox. And into touch over Rory Underwood's head.
A rather dejected looking Rory Underwood just jogging back as the ball bounced over his head. Will Carling really must rally his men for one final thrust, otherwise it's all over.
Yes, that was a little lackadaisical, because a rugby ball, as we all know, once it's bounced it could go anywhere. But Underwood trusting that ball to go into touch, which it did. On the England 10-metre line, Dooley Palms. On, Rob Andrew turns it from bad ball into good ball. Underwood came through on the dummy run, but he was a tiny shade too early, and Carling didn't see him. Now England really must win this. No, they're going forward, and once again the scrum goes to New Zealand. That has become such an important part of the game, David Kirk.
Absolutely. New Zealand have had the first hit, if you like, at every second phase in the second half. They've hit, gone forward just a foot, and they've got the foot into the scrum, controlled possession and used it well.
And the difference between the two sides, that marvellous try from Michael Jones, a superbly worked set move down the right side by the New Zealanders, putting Kerwin outside Chris Otey. He was tackled by Webb, but then on the inside, supporting so well as he always does, Michael Jones. Now the bomb again, hoisted by Grant Fox. Offside. Michael Jones penalised for going within 10 metres. He was waiting, half waiting, for Timu to put him onside, but he didn't wait long enough. He mustn't go within 10. Scrum down for England.
They must tap and go here. If I was willing, I'd tap and go, run at them. We haven't got time for the scrum.
Well, looking bleak for England now, Steve. Just a final thought.
Yes, to be fair, the best team have won the game, but I think England have proved that they can play against the All Blacks. They are the world champions. They've given a good account of themselves, but to be fair, on the day, the All Blacks are the better team.
Well, we mustn't forecast too much. There's still a couple of minutes to go, but David, you must be very happy with the way New Zealand have played in the second half.
Yes, it's not over yet. I would not be counting England out yet. Anything can happen. A draw is certainly quite possible. New Zealand have played tremendous rugby in the second half. England are very strong forwards, and New Zealand have dominated them in the second phase and played crisply and accurately in the backs. I think they're looking very strong.
Right, we're into injury time. Underwood takes it cleanly. Long pass to Gasket. We've got 2-on-1 here. Has Otey got the legs? Inside to Webb. Carling, but he can't hold on to it. England should win this, though. They do. Goes to Gasket in a little bit of room. He burrows inside. The first chance he's really had to run. England still have it. And a good tackle there, a big tackle. That was Craig Innes. Craig Innes spoiling the chance. England just dallying the shade too long, and Craig Innes going in there and hammering his man, and that's the chance gone. That was possibly England's last chance at an attack. Just a minute of injury time has been played. And remember, theoretically, these two teams could meet again in the World Cup final back here at Twickenham on November the 2nd. England losing this one, have a difficult task. Jerry Gasket getting away Cohen doing very well just to get him. England, if they do lose this, now almost certain to finish second in the group. They'll have to go to France probably then for the quarter-final. A much more difficult task. And Jim Fleming blows the final whistle. He played only a minute and a half. The final score, the World Cup holders, New Zealand 18, England 12. So New Zealand draw first blood in Group 1.
Will Carling, 18-12. What a sort of overture was that for England's World Cup?
Well, I think we'll be disappointed really that we didn't maintain any kind of control on the game. We couldn't get any pattern going. I think we struggled, to control the ball that we got, and we weren't getting enough. So there were good points, but overall, obviously disappointing to lose. It was plain at the start. Despite your experience, there were a lot of nerves out there. Yes, I think we were rushing a lot of things. We weren't as closed down as I think people were imagined that what we were going to be, and so we were slicing a few kicks, spraying a few balls around, and it wasn't particularly necessary, so we put ourselves under more pressure than really we should have been under.
I think we would like to play it a bit differently, but it was pretty hard out there. England play a certain game which is not conducive to sort of seeing the ball played a bit more, and of course they're very strict on the refereeing, and so overall we're just pleased to get the win, and I'm sure we can build from here.
So you're saying that you weren't entirely able to play the sort of game plan that you went into the match with?
No, and credit to England because of that. They shut us down for a while there. We took a long time to settle. We couldn't get the scrum game, we couldn't get the ball game. We weren't going from phase to phase to phase. It was very broken, very disjointed until that second half, and really that first 30 minutes was great.
No, it wasn't a disaster. I think, it's the beginning of a tournament. We'd like to believe we're going to be in it for a while, and certainly we can get better. And I'd like to believe if we played them again after that experience, then we would do much better than that. So a lot of promising things as well.